Section 13 of Hero and Leander. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Martin Geeson. Hero and Leander by Christopher Marlowe and George Chapman. Section 13. The Fifth Sestiad, Part 4. The tale of Terras concluded. And now to Juno's temple they are come, where her grave priest stood in the marriage room. On his right arm did hang a scarlet veil, and from his shoulders to the ground did trail on either side ribands of white and blue. With the red veil he hid the bashful hue of the chaste bride, to show the modest shame in coupling with a man should grace a dame. Then took he the disparent silks, and tied the lovers by the waists, and side by side, in token that hereafter they must bind in one self-sacred knot each other's mind. Before them on an altar he presented both fire and water, which was first invented, since to ingenerate every human creature, and every other birth produced by nature, moisture and heat must mix. So man and wife for human race must join in nuptial life. Then one of Juno's birds, the painted jay, he sacrificed, and took the gall away, all which he did behind the altar throw, in sign no bitterness of hate should grow twixt married loves, nor any least disdain. Nothing they spake, for 'twas esteemed too plain for the most silken mildness of a maid to let a public audience hear it said she boldly took the man. And so respected was bashfulness in Athens, it erected to chaste Agnaea, which is shamefacedness, a sacred temple, holding her a goddess. And now to feasts, masques, and triumphant shows the shining troops returned, even till earth throes brought forth with joy the thickest part of night, when the sweet nuptial song that used to cite all to their rest was by Phaemonoe sung, first Delphian prophetess, whose graces sprung out of the Muses' well. She sung before the bride into her chamber, at which door a matron and a torch-bearer did stand. A painted box of comfits in her hand the matron held, and so did other some that compassed round the honoured nuptial room. The custom was that every maid did wear during her maidenhead a silken sphere about her waist, above her inmost weed, knit with Minerva's knot. And that was freed by the fair bridegroom on the marriage night, with many ceremonies of delight. And yet eternized Hymen's tender bride, to suffer it dissolved so, sweetly cried. The maids that heard so loved and did adore her, they wished with all their hearts to suffer for her. So had the matrons that with comfits stood about the chamber such affectionate blood, and so true feeling of her harmless pains, that every one a shower of comfits rains. For which the bride youths scrambling on the ground, in noise of that sweet hail her cries were drowned. And thus blessed Hymen joyed his gracious bride, and for his joy was after deified. The saffron mirror, by which Phoebus' love green Tellus decks her, now he held above the cloudy mountains, and the noble maid, sharp-visaged Adolesce, that was strayed out of her way in hasting with her news, not till this hour the Athenian turrets views. And now brought home by guides, she heard by all that her long-kept occurrence would be stale, and how fair Hymen's honours did excel for those rare news which she came short to tell. To hear her dear tongue robbed of such a joy, made the well-spoken nymph take such a toy, that down she sunk, when lightning from above shrunk her lean body, and for mere free love turned her into the pied-plumed Psittacus, that now the parrot is surnamed by us, who still with counterfeit confusion prates naught but news common to the commonst mates. This told, strange Terras touched her lute, and sung this ditty, that the torchy evening sprung. Epithalamion Teratos. Come, come, dear night, love's mart of kisses, sweet close of his ambitious line, the fruitful summer of his blisses, love's glory doth in darkness shine. O come, soft rest of cares, come night. Come, naked virtue's only tire, the reaped harvest of the light, bound up in sheaves of sacred fire. Love calls to war, sighs his alarms, lips his swords are, the field his arms. Come, night, and lay thy velvet hand on glorious day's outfacing face, and all thy crowned flames command for torches to our nuptial grace. Love calls to war, sighs his alarms, lips his swords are, the field his arms. No need have we of factious day, to cast in envy of thy peace her balls of discord in thy way. Here beauty's day doth never cease. Day is abstracted here, and varied in a triple sphere. Hero, Alcmane, Maia, so outshine thee. Ere thou come here, let Thetis thrice refine thee. Love calls to war, sighs his alarms, lips his swords are, the field his arms. The evening star I see. Rise, youths, the evening star helps love to summon war, both now embracing be. Rise, youths, love's right claims more than banquets, rise. Now the bright marigolds that deck the skies, Phoebus' celestial flowers, that contrary to his flowers here, ope when he shuts his eye, and shut when he doth open, crown your sports. Now love in night, and night in love exhorts courtship and dances, all your parts employ, and suit night's rich expansure with your joy. Love paints his longings in sweet virgins' eyes. Rise, youths! Love's right claims more than banquets. Rise! Rise, virgins! Let fair nuptial loves enfold your fruitless breasts. The maidenheads ye hold are not your own alone, but parted are. Part in disposing them your parents share, and that a third part is, so must ye save your loves a third, and you your thirds must have. Love paints his longings in sweet virgins' eyes. Rise, youths! Love's rights claim more than banquets. Rise! Herewith the amorous spirit, that was so kind to Terras' hair, and combed it down with wind, still as it comet-like brake from her brain, would needs have Terras gone, and did refrain to blow it down, which staring up dismayed the timorous feast, and she no longer stayed, but bowing to the bridegroom and the bride, did like a shooting exhalation glide out of their sights. The turning of her back made them all shriek, it looked so ghastly black. O hapless hero, that most hapless cloud thy soon succeeding tragedy foreshowed! Thus all the nuptial crew to joys depart, but much wrung hero stood hell's blackest dart, whose wound, because I grieve so to display, I use digressions thus to increase the day. End of Section 13. Recording by Martin Geeson in Hazelmere, Surrey.